In the site survey phase, we answer the big question, what kind of signal coverage do we currently have in the building? We also find out information about the building that will be needed, during our engineering process. Benchmark signal measurement, if we collect data manually. For a small building with a few rooms, you can just use the debug or field test mode of your cell phone. What is this field test mode? There are a lot of phones in the market that will allow you to see quite a bit of information related to the signal strength and quality if you know the code to get into this field test mode. For example, to get into iPhone's field test mode, dial star 3001 pound 12345 pound star. And if you dial this number on your iPhone, then press call, you will be able to go into the field test mode. For your phone, you can Google field test mode with the name of your phone's model and see if it's available on the internet. In this example, surveyor just used her phone to collect the signal data and recorded that on the floor plan. Note that if you want carriers or operators to bring signal source to the DAS you will build, you'd want to use benchmark gear to collect this information. So let's drill down into site survey. What activities are required before we start the design and engineering? Two types of data are collected in this phase, and they can usually be collected in one trip. Number one is benchmark or base signal measurement, and number two is collecting building information. In benchmark signal measurement, we simply collect strength and quality of existing indoor signals. Again, we just collect strength and quality of existing indoor signals and their sources. So what tools do we use and what are the outputs we get? Let's look at that. There are quite a few tools available in the market. For large areas such as venues, it's a standard to use tools such as Qualipoc, JDSU or Viavi, Thames, Nemo or Xscale gears. These gears are a combination of hardware, for example, laptop with dongles or scanners, etc., and software that captures and plots signals over a floor plan. Basically, a typical gear will use a scanner or receiver or even a phone to receive the signals at any point of the floor and then plot that signal information on the floor plan. Now, what kind of output do we get from benchmark signal measurement? After quite a bit of data crunching, engineers basically generates a heat map, as I'm showing here, a heat map of ambient signal. Multiple plots may be generated for each floor. So for example, in this sample layout, we are looking at the color-coded output of a signal parameter known as LTE RSRP. This tells the engineers the strength of the LTE signal currently available on this floor. LTE RSRP is just one of the many sets of data that will be collected during benchmark signal survey. Along with benchmark data collection, engineers also collect two types of information during this survey. Information type 1, these are information that may impact construction and logistics. So for example, point of contact or POC of the building and access information, badging and escorting protocols, safety training requirements, working hour when construction crew can work on the DAS, materials staging, where we are going to keep all the materials during the construction, infectious control and HEPA filters, these are usually applicable for hospitals, and other relevant information like this. Other type of information we need that will impact design and materials. These are hidden room and remote locations, basically MDFs and IDFs, electrical information, GPS or donor location, cable route and support inside the building, floor-to-floor penetration when we are running the cable, fiber layout, that's also very important, etc. Some of these terms may not be familiar to you now, but we'll discuss them in engineering sections of the course. Both types of information are important for coming up with design materials and construction cost.